So today I wanted to make a video talking about this piece of gear. This is the Tascam Portastudio 424 Mark I, and it is awesome. It is a 4-track cassette tape machine. I'm going to be recording a little bit of an original song onto it. It's a song that I released a couple of days ago called Sometimes, and I'm going to be recreating it so you guys can have some insights into how to use this thing. Essentially, you're recording straight to this little thing. The reason I first purchased one of these back in October of last year was because I was doing a lot of producing for other artists, all with a computer. I love to do that, but I think in this day and age, everything is so computer-based and digital. I just really wanted to get my hands on something that felt like it didn't live in a screen, something tactile, something clunky and real. And I'm heavily inspired by the music of Elliott Smith, for example. John Frusciante is one of my favorite musicians of all time. Both of them actually use this specific piece of gear to record a lot of their music. I wrote a few songs and I thought it would be cool to record them on this and then would release them, and it's kind of turned into a bigger project since then. So my plan is to release a song a month for the next 2 years. For the rest of this year, I think I'm going to be doing everything just on this little machine. I have 3 songs released so far: Montreal, Feeling It All, Whiskey Stones came out in February, and now Sometimes, which just came out end of March. Lots to go still, but I have some songs written. I think about 9 more written that I still have to record. So lots of work, but I'm really enjoying it. Next year, I'm thinking I'm probably going to switch things up a little bit and maybe experiment with getting an 8-track. Also just experimenting with a more hybrid approach where I do use the computer a little bit just to help me, because I'm doing this all myself. And the main difficulty for me has been recording drums, because I'm not a drummer. I just kind of fake it a little bit, and I do want to add drums to some of my songs and play them myself just to keep it all very DIY punk rock ethos. So I think next year I'm gonna get an 8-track and I'm gonna maybe record a few things into the computer just to fix timing stuff on the drums. I may not, but that's kind of like where my mind is at right now. This is the third of these kinds of videos. I made one about how I recorded Montreal, and that was pretty thorough. So if you want kind of like some basics on how to use this and record a song yourself, you can check that one out. Also recorded one on Whiskey Stones where I also kind of talked about how I recorded the song, and then I also talked about a few maintenance issues that you might run into while recording to the Tascam. Today, I don't really have much of a plan other than just kind of recording a little section of the song and then talking about things as they come up. I am going to try to record without a drum machine. I've been recording with a drum machine for all the other songs. I usually just program a pattern, record it to the cassette, and then that'll be my metronome. I don't leave it on the final thing, although sometimes you can hear a little bit of it bleed into other tracks, which is cool. It's charming. It's part of the lo-fi experience to not have everything super neat and to hear the tape hiss and everything. But today I was just curious to try and record without the drum machine and see how it goes. A little bit of background about the song. It's based on just a rainy day at home with my wife, trying to capture a moment of peace. You know, sometimes life gets pretty heavy, and it's just nice to enjoy the quiet moments when they happen. So this song is about that. First things first, I'm gonna plug in. These are the cables that are going into my Apollo Twin and into Pro Tools. So I'm just recording the audio straight out of the Tascam. Plug in the power source. Very step-by-step today. Headphones. So one thing is I've been labeling my cassettes just with the titles of demos and everything to keep things organized. This one's not titled, so I should probably check out what's on it. I am using Maxell XL2 tape. One mistake I made when I started is just recording to regular cassette tapes, and you can, it's just they're not made for that specific purpose, so you will get more dropouts. It might sound more warbly. I actually thought it was kind of cool on some of the songs. Montreal, for example, and Whiskey Stones were both recorded on Sony normal bias tape, which is a beginner mistake, but you know, happy accidents and whatnot, and I actually kind of liked the way they sounded. You know, I don't want to record over another song or anything, so I just want to check out what's on this piece of tape before recordings. Okay, because I want to hear it going out of Pro Tools and not my headphones. For today, I need to press these 2 buttons. This is left and right. That's what's playing. Everything is panned to the left for now, so let's just pan everything down the middle so we hear everything evenly. All the EQs are fine. Faders to 8, including the master fader. And then press play. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so that's something I don't want to record over. Let's fast forward. I have a feeling this whole tape is going to be used up, but let's check anyways. Actually, just to save time, because I'm pretty sure this one's all used up and I just need to label it. I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to use this same type of tape. I do have my next single recorded on it, No Rain in LA, which I'll probably do a video on the song later on this month, but let's check out what's on it. All right, so that's the song. Don't want to give it away yet. Let's fast forward until there's nothing playing. Okay, there's nothing playing there. Just gonna let it roll for a little bit to make sure. Yeah, I don't think there's anything after that. I'm going to press this button to bring the counter back to 0. And that means that whenever I rewind later on, it's always going to go back to, I don't know if you can see very well there, but the tape is only at around that point. So yeah, the tape didn't go all the way back to the beginning, and I don't run the risk of recording over previously recorded material. And I also don't waste time trying to find the exact same spot where I want to record from. The very first thing I'm going to record is acoustic guitar, and that's going to be kind of like the anchor for everything else. I'm going to be recording with this microphone, which is a Shure Beta 57. It's essentially a Shure SM57, but the grill is a little bit larger. I've gotten some questions on this actually, like what microphone this is, so that's why I'm taking the time to answer it. But basically, my dad he doesn't do it as much anymore, but was a sound engineer for a long time. And he, once he kind of closed up his studio, he had a bunch of these lying around. So he gave them to me, and I absolutely love recording with this microphone. It's very simple. And it gets all sources kind of well, and it is a little bit more hypercardioid than your regular SM57. So it does pick up a little bit more on the sides, which can be great for drums and for a little bit of room sound on your vocals, etc. Anytime I have an acoustic source, I've been recording with this microphone. The Tascam doesn't have phantom power. This gain stage here, I usually pull it all the way up. Also, the fader that I'm recording on, I put it around 8, and then the master fader around 8 as well. Sometimes I like to EQ on the way in, not always. Today I'm going to leave everything at, or the EQ section, I'm going to leave it at 12 o'clock. This is a high shelf at around 10K, and then this is a low shelf at 100. There's not much EQing that you can do anyways, so it really all becomes about mic placement and performance, which is great, because you can't overthink things. You know, you just kind of go, once you have a good sound, you record it. Now, this is a little bit confusing for myself. It was pretty confusing starting out, but the pan knob here, when you're recording, so right now we want to record to the left side of the tape. You have 4 pieces of tape, 2 left channels and 2 right channels. What we want to do here, we want to record to the left side of one of the pieces of tape. So that's why we pan all the way to the left. And then here, we're making sure that we're only recording to the left side of the tape. We press direct, and that means it's going to record whatever's coming into this channel. And we record to mic line. All right. So here we are with the acoustic guitar, all tuned up, ready to go. I usually place my microphone around this distance from the 12th fret of the acoustic guitar as a starting point, and then take it from there. Just gonna bring up the level in my headphones a bit to here. Let's record. So to record, I press record and play at the same time. And then I'm gonna give a little count in just to make sure everything's starting at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I think that was pretty good. I'm just gonna hear it back once to see that we like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah, that was pretty good. I like that. Just because I am feeling a little lazy today, I'm not going to switch to the overhead view for every instrument that I'm going to be tracking. I'm just gonna kind of more document than explain. But if you guys have any questions about how to record, let me know and I'm more than happy to answer them. Or you can check out my previous videos in which I go a little bit more in detail. On this track, if I remember correctly, I'm doing this all by memory because I didn't actually listen to the song before doing this. But I think I'm double tracking vocals. I usually do that. I have one acoustic guitar, one electric guitar, an electric bass, and a tambourine. So that means 4 instruments on 4 tracks, and I still need 2 for the vocals. So I'm gonna have to bounce things, and I'll show you briefly how to do that once I get there. But for now, I have to decide which 2 instruments do I want to glue together. So I'm thinking the smart move would probably be bass and acoustic guitar on one track, and then the electric guitar and tambourine on the other. So for tambourine, I'm just going to switch over into input 2. Instead of recording to the left side of the tape, I'm going to be panning to the right, so I record to the right side of the tape, and I hit the right button here and the Q button. The Q button lets me listen to what I've tracked already, which is just the acoustic guitar. So I'm going to bring the level up on this little mixer section here, which will allow me to hear the guitar. And then I just need to press direct here so that I'm recording, and direct here so that I'm recording, and then bring the fader up, and yeah, I hear myself. Perfect. And record. Cool. So I think, not all those were exactly on time. Like if you were gonna look at the grid on a computer, you would say it's a little sloppy. I think for our purposes today, and just in general, not everything has to be perfectly in time. That's not how human beings work, and so this makes it more human. I don't know if that's the exact part that I played on the recording. I know later on I do some more fancy things, but you'll just have to check out the original track to know, because I can't remember right now. So I just want to hear it back to make sure it recorded properly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great, sounds like a tambourine, exactly what we want. I just rolled off some of the lows so they don't get in the way. I'm gonna grab my electric guitar and record that. For electric guitars, I usually just put the gain down the middle. It's kind of a nice, clean tone. Cool. Okay, so I think that was good. I think the beginning was a little bit wonky. There's no metronome, so it just takes like a few measures to kind of figure out the exact tempo, but I think it's fine for the vibe. And then if you guys really want to get your minds blown by how in time it is, you can check out the original recording. But for now, I think this is good enough. I just want to listen back, make sure there weren't any dropouts or anything. Sometimes when you're recording to tape, the right head doesn't hit the tape exactly how it's supposed to, or the read head doesn't read it how it's supposed to, and so you get a little bit of a volume fluctuation. It kind of just like drops out for a second, comes back. I've been encountering that more and more the more I'm using the machine. Just regular wear and tear. I will have to do a little bit more maintenance on it at some point, clean the heads, and then check out what's going on with the belts. That's the part that scares me a little bit more, because I think cleaning it is pretty straightforward, but then if the belts start to melt, I think that can be a bigger problem. So there are a few downsides to recording to cassette for sure, but that's part of the reason I love it. It's just you have to slow down and troubleshoot and do things the long way instead of the short and easy way, and there's something nice about that. Okay, that sounds good to me. So now we have to bounce some tracks because we have 3 tracks used up and we need a free track to bounce into. Here's where we have to decide which instruments are going to go together, and it's going to be a mono bounce. So those two instruments will be forever married in terms of volume, panning, and EQ on their separate tracks. So we gotta think about this a little bit. We're gonna send it to track 4. What did we say? I think we said it was gonna be the tambourine and the electric guitar bounce to one track. So let's do that. That's basically track 2 and track 3. We're going to send it to the right side of the tape. So we're gonna pan them to the right. We're gonna lower the fader on track 1, which is the acoustic guitar, and then we're gonna use right side of the tape to bounce into the 4th channel, and then on the monitor we hit right because we're bouncing to the right there as well because we're bouncing to the right. Now we just listen back first before recording to make sure that we like the balance between those two tracks that we're bouncing. Okay, so right away the electric guitar can be a little louder. Maybe the tambourine can be a little bit less bright. Cool, that works for me. Alright, so let's record it. Let's listen back to make sure it was recorded properly onto track 4. So I'm going to lower all the faders except track 4 and then listen back. Okay, so you hear there's a lot of dropouts there. That's not good. So we're going to try to record it again and see if that fixes the problem. That's a pretty intense dropout. Alright, let's try again. Cool, okay. Let's hope that was better. Okay, so it's pretty warbly. It's not perfect, but I think let's move on for today. This is what it sounds like with the acoustic guitar as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. Alright, let's keep going. So, last but not least, I'm going to add some bass. Yeah, we're going to record it on track 2. I think that works, but let's just hear it back to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's good enough for today. So now we need to record the acoustic guitar and the bass over into one track. I'm just gonna leave the EQs the way I have them right now. I kind of like the way it sounds. The guitar is a little bit more bright and less boomy, and then the bass is super boomy. Let's send everything to the left side and then record it onto track 3. And that way we'll have track 3 and 4 will be the instrumental, and then track 1 and 2 will be the vocals. Alright, let's make sure that I record it well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. Okay, so onto the vocals now. Got it. So now vocals are going to be on track 1 and 2, and they're going to be double tracked. Your voice and the summer rain. Nice, that works for me. So now let's go for the double. Your voice and the summer rain. And do a little bit of quick mixing. Your voice and the summer rain, tapping on my window pane. Your voice and the summer rain, soft and sweet, going Nice. Today I'm not entirely satisfied with how it turned out just because of the dropout situation. This will give you guys an idea of what the workflow is, and I'm just trying to document things instead of trying to make everything perfect. It just feels more real that way and more true to the experience, and that is kind of the reason I got into 4-track recording anyways, was to kind of like embrace the imperfections instead of trying to make everything perfect and seem like it's easy. It's not. Sometimes it's frustrating. Today was one of those days where I just couldn't get it to work, but I think overall it sounds good enough and you get an idea. I'm gonna keep doing videos like these, just kind of documenting the process, and the next one I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do a comparison between recording with plugins versus recording straight to tape, A/B them, and then maybe you guys can tell me which one sounds better to you. If you like this sort of stuff and you want to see more of my journey with 4-track recording and cassette recording in general, make sure to subscribe, and see you all next time. Happy recording. Bye.